Hello boys and girls. Welcome to Summer Reading Arts and Crafts at the Temple Terrace Public Library. I'm Miss Susan and I'm here to make a bunny with you. I've got a couple of different colors I used and you can pick whatever colors you'd like. I'm going to probably make Peter Rabbit since I've got some tales about Peter Rabbit to show you later. Of course, a tale, T-A-L-E, is a story, and a T-A-I-L is the tail on the back of the bunny. So it's perfect for our Tales and Tales summer reading theme. Let me show you how I made the bunny with a styrofoam cup. You'll just really need some paper and a little cotton ball and maybe some googly eyes, or you can use a marker instead. So I'm going to make my ears brown, and I made these white with little colored centers, but you can do it any way you want, and that's why I'm going to show you a different color. I'm going to go ahead and cut two at the same time so they're the same size. I'm kind of cutting around the first one so that they'll look alike. You could fold your paper in half and cut them at the same time, and that would help too. So there are his bunny ears. I might put a little pink center in the middle. So just another long little kind of oval with a pointier tip to go in the middle. And I'll stick those right there and I'll glue them on to glue the center inside the bigger ear. And then I'll need maybe some pink for his nose. And probably just a little glue will hold it. And I'll leave those there to dry for a minute before I stick them on my styrofoam cup. And now I'm going to just cut a little oval for his nose. And of course you could draw the nose on too. Either one would work just fine. And there's his nose. And I'm also going to cut out some feet. I think I'll make his feet. You know what I'll do? I think I'm going to cut out little brown feet and put pink dots on them. So I folded my paper in half, and I'm just going to make two ovals that are the bottoms of his feet. And now I'm going to cut out some little circles to be the pads on his feet. And I'll probably need, well, let's see, I'll need 6 little tiny round circles and then 2 little ovals to be the bigger pad on the bottom of his foot. So that's enough of those. And just a little oval kind of like his nose to be the bigger pad. So I'll glue these on, make this a tiny bit littler. And like I said, you can use a marker too. I just don't know if the marker would show up. Yeah, I guess it would. I'll show you both ways. I just used my pink marker to draw it on, but instead I can glue pink paper toes and foot pads or paw pads, and it will look like this. So there are his little toes, and let me glue on one more set on this foot, and then we'll put everything on the cup. So there are his little feet. Now on these samples I had just drawn the toes, or the little claws, but I went ahead and did paper ones on this one, so you can change it around. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and glue on his nose, and I want to put it high enough where I can fit his feet below it. This one I had put the feet kind of low because his mouth was so low. I had drawn the mouth kind of way down at the bottom. So you can see I'm putting his nose almost in the top half of the cup. And then I'm going to draw 2 fish hooks, one going one direction and one going the other way to make his smile. And I'm going to glue 2 little Google eyes just above his mouth and nose. So where's his other Google eye? It's gotten misplaced. Oh, there it is under his tail. And so now he can see. And it's time now to glue his feet on. I'm just going to put a dollop of glue on both sides of the underside of his mouth so that I can stick his little paws with claws on. And it takes a minute for these to dry where they don't slide around. So you may have to kind of hold them on. There they are. I'll lay him flat for a second. And now I'm going to put some glue on his ears. So I've got the front side of his ear. I'm going to put some glue on the back side. And I'm just going to stick it right there inside the cup. And it's poking up outside of the cup now. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other ear. And then all he's going to need is his tail. So I've got his feet, if they would stay upright. There we go. There's Peter. And now he just needs his little tail in the back. So I'm putting a little cotton ball back there. And his ear fell off. This is one of those things that kind of has to sit still for a few minutes while it's drying. Guess his feet are still on. There's Peter Rabbit. And Peter Rabbit is the main character in some very old tales. So let me tell you about them. There he is. Looks like I've even got Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail here. You could make 4. You could have Peter Rabbit and then 3 sisters. He had 3 sisters, Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail. All right. Oh, you know, I almost forgot Peter Rabbit's whiskers. What is a bunny without whiskers? Certainly he didn't leave those in the garden, did he? So I'm just going to take my marker and draw on some little whiskers on the side of his nose. Now he's complete. So if I made one more, I'd have enough to make do a little puppet show, a Peter Rabbit show. Here's the tail of Benjamin Bunny and the tail of Peter Rabbit. Peter, of course, goes into Mr. McGregor's garden. He's been warned not to do that. Mama told him not to because it's dangerous, but he loves to eat the radishes and the cabbages and all the delicious vegetables. And of course he gets caught and has to run fast to get away from Mr. McGregor, and he loses his clothes in the process. Well, Mr. McGregor turns him into a scarecrow in his garden. Well, Benjamin Bunny is Peter's cousin, and he sees that Mr. McGregor and Mrs. McGregor are in their cart one morning going to town, and he runs to get his cousin Peter to try to get his clothes back. So come to the library and see if they managed to get Peter's clothes off of that scarecrow. And of course, those were all written by Beatrix Potter. Some famous tales. Now here we have Borrowing Bunnies. This is a nonfiction book, whereas the Beatrix Potter books were fiction. They were not really true, they're just tales. But this is a true story about bunnies. It's about a family who fosters tiny baby bunnies until they're old enough to go to the pet store and go home with some other families. So that's an interesting book, telling all the things they do, training the bunnies and raising them until they go off to the pet stores. That one's by Cynthia Lord. And then here we have Bunny Built by Michael Slack. This is a funny book. It's, of course, fiction. And it's about a bunny who's looking for his carrots. Well, he finally ends up planting one, and it becomes enormous. So you'll have to come to the library to find out what he does with that enormous carrot. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you'll come to the library soon and check out some bunny books and maybe even make a styrofoam Peter Rabbit. Thank you. Bye-bye.